Congress enacted the Resource Conservation and Recovery Act, or RCRA, in the 1970s to better protect communities and the environment. Since then, RCRA has set the framework for the handling and disposing of hazardous wastes. Because hospitals generate a large quantity of waste with a variety of potential hazards, including flammable, corrosive, toxic, and unstable, we're classified as a hazardous waste generator in Missouri. And because we generate more than 1,000 kilograms of hazardous waste per calendar month, or more than 1 kilogram of acutely hazardous waste per calendar month, we are a large quantity generator. As a large quantity generator, we must adhere to the strictest regulations when handling and disposing of hazardous waste. Facilities that generate between 100 and 1,000 kilograms of hazardous waste during a month are small quantity generators. Those who generate less than 100 kilograms are called very small quantity generators. Check with federal and state regulations to ensure compliance for your facility. Ensuring compliance starts where hazardous materials enter the waste stream. But determining how something should be disposed of isn't always clear. The keystone of an effective waste management program is making hazardous waste determinations where and when wastes are generated. Many regulatory violations may be avoided by accurately determining if a waste meets the definition of hazardous. Pharmaceutical waste is waste created in the administration of pharmaceuticals. It may include partially full packaging, vials, syringes, IV bags, or all discarded medications. Information about how to dispose of medications can be found through some medication dispensing systems. When dispensing medication, these machines will tell you if a hazardous bin is needed for disposal. If not, assume the disposal practice for non-hazardous medication. In this particular system, black bins and containers are used for hazardous waste pharmaceuticals. This includes aerosols, bulk chemotherapy drugs, and dangerous medications. There are some hazardous medications that are not compatible in storage. These need to be placed in the proper black bin. Medication dispensing systems should have instructions indicating such. The pharmacy can help ensure this occurs. Most empty items can be disposed of as normal trash. The regulatory definition of empty is 3% or less of the original volume. If a 100 milliliter container had 3 milliliters or less of the substance in question, it is considered empty. The only waste which the original packaging must be disposed of as hazardous waste are acutely hazardous waste. An example of this would be the drug warfarin. This designation would come from the medication dispensing system, pharmacy, or formulary list. In this system, blue bins are for pharmaceutical waste and medications that are not defined as hazardous. Also in this system, yellow bins are for trace chemo drugs. Liquids should always be put in an additional sealable bag to prevent leakage. If you did not receive a pharmaceutical from an automated dispensing system, you can look up the proper disposal method in the drug formulary list or consult with the pharmacy. Lab wastes often offer their own unique challenges. Xylene and other flammable or combustible solvents should be disposed of in the proper storage containers with adequate spill and safety precautions. Infectious wastes, or regulated medical waste, include needles, empty syringes, or anything that's saturated enough with bodily fluids to potentially spread a pathogen. Those should be disposed of in red bins or sharps containers. Most other hazardous lab wastes should be disposed of in the proper blue, black, or yellow bin, as determined by its hazard classification. Large quantity generators can accumulate hazardous waste in a central location for a maximum of 90 days. The containers must be in good condition and labeled with the words hazardous waste, icons indicating the hazard present, and the date accumulation began. The facility must also inspect the central accumulation area on a weekly basis. The satellite accumulation area can be ongoing as long as it is in good condition and not over 55 gallons. Satellite accumulation containers must also be labeled with the words hazardous waste, and words or icons indicating the hazard present. Before being removed from the hospital, all waste must be labeled in accordance with the Department of Transportation regulations and accompanied by a completed Uniform Hazardous Waste Manifest that details types and quantities of waste involved. The manifest must be completed and signed by someone with Department of Transportation training for shipping hazardous materials. The manifest will then be entered into the e-manifest auto reporting system, which can be found here. A proper hazard communication program helps provide the proper training and handling of all waste in the hospital, including when to use personal protective equipment. Ensuring that safety data sheets are on hand and proper labeling present helps protect our patients, our workers, our communities, and our environment. Consult OSHA HazCom guidelines for further guidance.